Hi everyone, and welcome to my Thieaudio Legacy 2 review. I just want to quickly say that this is the second product I have from Thieaudio. I have an L3 and I have an L2 now. And straight away, the one thing I would like to say is I was much more impressed by the L2 than what I was by the L3 initially. The L3 just the first time I put it in my ears, it just didn't do it. It just didn't engage me. Afterwards, with the proper tips and playing around with it and choosing the right amp and so on and so forth, yes, then it did become one of the IMs that I do like, especially at that price range. That takes me to the price, which is around $100 for the L2. And actually, let me just quickly show you the box that it comes in. Kind of, I would say, typical Thieaudio presentation. Classy, simple, but straight to the point. Inside, the IEMs came over there, obviously, and then we have the usual, information and guarantees and all that. It's got a case, which is actually quite a nice case. Looks like leather with Thieaudio engraved over there. Rings, some tips, some wide bore and some narrow bore, which I'm actually using the standard tips. I found them very capable. So that's that there. Let me just put this away, out of the way. Okay. And the IEMs themselves. This is the standard cable, and if I am going to make a little bit of a hype and so on, like some people hyped the cable on the blonde, I mean, this is every bit as good, if not better, than the blonde cable. I mean, I've actually got a blonde over here. Okay, this is the blonde cable, the blonde standard cable, which was object of so much fuss and oh my god, the cable is this and that, and well, here's the Thieaudio L2 cable, and no way is it behind the cable from Blonde. There. It's a 4-core affair. Again, a very capable cable. I did try other cables, but I actually just left it then with the standard cable. It comes available only in this blue resin shell. Let me see if we can actually see the drivers there. There's the driver. It's a 10mm beryllium coated driver, and Knowles BA. And well, in terms of fit and so on, it fits me perfectly. 2-pin connector, as you can see, 2-pin flush connector. It has two. Let me see if I can just zoom this in a little bit. Okay, there we go. It has 2 vent holes over there. I would assume that one would be, let's say, the front vent hole, and the other, let me try again this way. There we go. 2 vent holes. I would assume one would be the front vent hole to avoid any driver flex, and one is the rear one. It's 2 bores on the actual. We can see. There you go. 2. One for the BA driver and one for the dynamic driver. There seems to be on one of them, if you can notice, there's slightly sort of a filter somehow, and it seems to me that actually is on the dynamic driver. So I'm sure it probably was put there to attenuate some sort of resonance or harmonics or something. Anyway, to the drivers, the AM, sorry. Nice build construction, nice shell, nice finish. The seams, or you can't really notice them. I mean, it's nicely put together. It's for a $100 product. I don't really think you can do much better than this. Relatively light. I mean, somehow it doesn't. The looks don't are not matched by a sense of weight that you would expect on a product of this caliber. But I guess that's relative. If it sounds good, that's the most important thing. Excuse me. And yeah, that's basically the IEMs. What's the sound like? Well, I want to start by saying it's a mild V, neutral mild V, if that would make any sense. There isn't anything that really jumps out. Everything is very much coherent. Nice bass with a nice sub bass. I would say probably more of an emphasis on the sub bass than on the mid bass. The mids are nice, and I believe I actually have a graph here. 1 second. See if I can actually get this graph and show it. As I was saying, it's got a nice, very no, I actually don't have a graph here. Anyway, that's not a problem. It's got a very coherent, very balanced out sound. If there's anything that I would say that maybe is lacking or not lacking, or is perhaps a pity, is that it rolls off in the higher frequencies a little bit too early. But not really noticeable. I mean, it really is not noticeable. Well, what does all of this translate to? It translates to a very easy listening IEM. I mean, it's very easy listening. It's very relaxed, the listening of this of these L2s. They are, nothing is in your face, nothing jumps out. It's very easy to power. I mean, they don't require much to actually get going. Although if you do connect them to a proper amp or a DAP or DAC amp combination, you will get more out of it, definitely. Soundstage is decent. I was actually expecting a little bit more in 1 or 2 songs, but I mean nothing that really is gonna be a deal breaker, let's put it that way. Excuse me. Detailed retrieval, again, very good. What I did find, and this will then go towards the comparison that I did, is that sometimes there's a slight sibilance in some songs. Sometimes there's a slight harshness, which with such a relaxed sounding earphone, you kind of wouldn't be expecting it. You would expect everything to be very, very well done, neutral. And yes, it is very well done, and definitely I'm going to say that this is one of the IEMs to look for at under $100. But yes, now that we're actually looking at, there's one thing I did want to mention, which is, if you notice, the plug doesn't go all the way in. I do not know why that is. I've tried it. I guess it's something which happens on, I mean, this one goes a little bit more, but again, you can see that it doesn't really go flush. The right side definitely doesn't go flush, and I've tried pushing it in more, but I don't want to run the risk of actually damaging. So I guess this would be the only little thing that I would like Thieaudio to perhaps pay attention to. Female vocals are very nice. Male vocals also sometimes a little bit, I would say, overly warm, but again, nothing that is offensive in any manner. So overall, I mean, it's a very easy listening earphone. Nothing like I said, it really comes out as bad or doesn't do it justice or anything of the sort. No. As for the comparisons, I was actually going to compare it to the Heide's MS2, but I haven't listened enough to that earphone to actually put it in this matchup. And I believe that would probably be the better matchup, and if need be, once I have listened to it, I will add on to this review, not a problem. and the reason being they're both 1+1, so one dynamic driver, one BA. So the IEM that I actually compared it to was probably one of the better under $100 IEMs, which is the Aria. And well, comparing them straight away in terms of build quality, Aria takes the prize. You feel there's some weight, and that weight doesn't translate to a more inefficient fit or more tiring fit in any way. No, there's more. You feel you got something in your hands. Okay, so build quality definitely towards the Aria. In terms of sound, well, they've both graph very similar. There's a little bit more high frequency and a little bit more energy on the Aria side, and that extra energy is very noticeable in some songs. It just I don't know what's the best comparison or the best way. Let me put it to you this way. For those that like cars, maybe you might understand this. Let's take a Mercedes, an A35 AMG and an A45 AMG. Both of them 95% of the time will be almost identical. So both of them will perform almost identical. Bass in both of these IEMs is amazing. There are some songs where you notice that maybe the beryllium does give the L2 an edge. Then there's others where the LCP diaphragm, the liquid crystal polymer diaphragm, gives it that little extra warmth that it just sounds more lush. I guess the bass on the Arias is more lush, but very similar. The highs, again, it's you take your pick. These ones roll off early, but you don't really notice it, and there's a little bit of harshness or sibilance in some songs. These ones have got more extension, and they're crystal clean, very nice highs. Although sometimes you just feel that they are perhaps a little bit too artificial. Where is the big difference then? Mids in the Aria are to die for, period. I'm not going to elaborate too much on that because it's the Moondrop signature. It's a signature which is known for its mids, for the way it presents vocals, for the way it just does things in the mid-range. Instruments, everything just sounds absolutely unbelievable on the Aria. That's not to say that the L2 is far behind. No, the L2 keeps up quite well. But that's where you see the biggest difference between the two IEMs. Which is the winner? I don't want to really say that this is the winner or that is the winner. I mean, personally, I prefer the Aria. That's just me. Do I dislike the L2 in any way? No, it's a very capable IEM. Build quality, the Aria is better. Fit, it's again very similar. So without wanting to sound biased or trying to be as neutral as possible, you can't really go wrong with either one of them. I guess right now you probably will make a better deal on the Arias because they are cheaper, and that they are amazing. They follow the what was started with the KXSS and then Starfield, and they've gone and improved upon it all the time. I mean, I would go as far as to say that there are a lot of things that sometimes remind me even of my Tanstrum Oxygen, which might seem a little bit far-fetched, but there are things which remind me of my Tanstrum Oxygen, and that is probably my favorite IM that I own. L2s are a very, very capable IM. Very nice surprise from Thieaudio. I think they are superior to the L3s, for example, which would be the ones that are closest priced. Perhaps even make them obsolete. And so the jump now would probably be L2, L4. Does the price difference, which is almost twice the value, justify the L4? Again, I can't really say because I don't own a pair of L4s. I can only base myself on what has been said about them in general. but I think that for the majority of people, the L2s will be more than capable if what you want is a Thieaudio product. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy this. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.